Hello again, guys. It is I, Freezy700. We are back with some Warhammer 40K lore. This time, we are going over Abaddon the Armless. Nah, just kidding. We ain't going over his dumbass. Now, we're going over what he leads into failure. The Black Legion. Da-da-da!
After the...
So the Black Legion. Now the Black Legion's been renamed several times. Originally, well, not originally. Prior to being called the Black Legion, they were originally known as the Sons of Horus. And before that, the original name was the Luna Wolves. Now this Legion is interesting, to say the least. Like, their tactics as far as recruitment goes is they essentially just disband any warband that comes around, and they just absorb whoever Space Marine it is. So, in essence, this Chaos faction is actually very interesting because they do not care if you actually carry their gene seed. So they don't care if you're actually not Horus's flock. They do not care if you share the same G seed as them. And they also will absorb you no matter what god you worship the most. So you may not praise the Chaos Undivided, and you may be just a devout worshiper of Slaanesh, Khorne, Tzeentch, or Nurgle. They don't care. They'll accept you in their ranks. And that's what I think is very interesting about this Legion. So they pretty much are a culmination of all that Chaos represents. Now, the problem is that when they fight, they all fight the same. Not the Alpha Legion type same, but I mean like they fight with the same battle tactics that they've been using since before the Horus Heresy, which is known most infamously as the Spear Tip. Now the Spear Tip is a very interesting doctrine, and I find it very interesting because of how many people hate it. Now the Spear Tip sounds really fucking stupid when you say it out loud, and also the battle tactic itself is just a no-brainer. Like you would think, no shit. Who the fuck wouldn't do this tactic? Well, it's actually more than that. And that's where it actually becomes very genius in its design. And this is where a lot of people get it mixed up. So, the Spear Tip is essentially the way of engagement for the Legion. But what is it exactly? So we're going to get into that. So what happens is when the Sons of Horus descend on a planet, they will actually do a bunch of skirmishes, a bunch of attacks and raids. Now, back then, and of course even now, when they attack you, it could be hundreds of Space Marines just pouring down your base, and that's considered a tiny skirmish. Well, to us lowly humans, that's considered full-on fucking invasion. And this is kind of what they're playing along. So since it's a full-on invasion to you, you're going to need a lot of fire support, you're going to need to react hard to this rather minuscule engagement force. Well, when you divert resources or when you're waiting for orders and you're seeing where these messages are going to, this is part of the Spear Tip tactic. And this is where I think people get it mixed up. The Spear Tip is not just a one-off battle tactic like, okay, in the middle of the battle, you're gonna charge right in through the enemy's HQ and destroy it. No. The Spear Tip is more like an ongoing war effort tactic. And this is where Abaddon and a few people who read the novels and hate the Spear Tip tactic get confused. I would say that too, that Abaddon is kind of misinformed as to what the Spear Tip was, because again, he's not exactly Horus. He's not a tactical genius. So, the Spear Tip is essentially designed to eliminate the chain of command. And this is where the Black Legion's specialty is eliminating the higher structure of a military organization. So if you kill all the generals and all the colonels, all the lieutenants, then everyone cannot really understand what the fuck's going on. Once you eliminate these lines of communication, once you eliminate the brains of an army, they're useless. Much like an orc's army, when the war boss is dead, all the boys are fucked. Whenever something bad happens to a chain of command, there's nothing you can do. You can just pray to whatever god you believe in and hope that your military prowess is enough to save the day. But even then, that day may be saved, but tomorrow will definitely be doomed. So this is what the whole spirit tip is supposed to do. So while there's a bunch of military engagements throughout the planet or throughout the battlefield, eventually you're going to keep on getting a little pissed, a little irritated, and you're going to start diverting resources to areas that are obviously getting hit the hardest. And this is part of the spirit tip tactic where they would come in massive waves, and each wave will just hit one area in particular, and then they'll retreat. And then while you're gathering up your forces and saying, okay, a bunch of dudes go to that point because they just attacked it, it must be really important to them. Well, now they're going to send another raid, less than 10 seconds, over to a different location, but more intensity. And then they're going to pull back. Then they're going to attack a different point, capture it, in less than 5 seconds, with supreme intensity, and hold on to that. And then when you're just diverting all these resources all around the fucking planet, and you're like, okay, we think we got them, we think we know their pattern, all of a sudden, open up, bitch! Boom! Here comes the super fucking elite Terminator squad barreling down your fucking command center, because now they found out where your HQ was, and also you're too scattered and too spread thin to really deal with this super elite shock to your chain of command. That's the whole point of the spear tip, is to just do many, many, many skirmishes and raids on a huge open war, and then just keep retreating, but keep attacking in different areas with increased intensity and decrease time between each raid. So, first raid happened 5 minutes ago. Second raid happened 3 minutes ago. Fourth raid was like 10 seconds ago. And each one was bigger and bigger and bigger. And finally, the whole tip of the spear is just the elite shock troopers, Terminator armor, everything, teleporters, all sorts of shit down your chain of command. So essentially the spear tip may actually be able to utterly annihilate your government or your faction, or it would just temporarily win them the planet. If you're, per se, the Imperium, who only has, like, millions of fucking planets. That's why I like the spirit tip tactics so much, is that if you apply it to the whole war, you can eliminate a lot of shit. But if you apply it only to a battlefield, you're not going to do too much. Like, it doesn't take a genius to sit there and go, oh, okay, that guy's shouting orders, he's probably the commissar, let's go take him out. That's not exactly screaming out brilliance to my eyes. What is the whole point of the spirit tip is a massive war zone type scenario where you're sitting either on a planet or through multiple planets, and you're just attacking and retreating, and you just keep doing this over and over and over again, and you go, boom. Their chain of command is wide open for a huge engagement. And once you take out the chain of command, everything else, all those battlefields that you fought on, are now victims. They're now just waiting for you just to claim them. So, that's more or less the tactics of the Black Legion. Now I'm going to say reasons why it doesn't fucking work. The biggest reason why it doesn't fucking work is that Cadia, one of the planets, at least in the current lore, it got taken out, but in the old lore, it's hard to say how the fuck he took it out, because the spirit tip doesn't work on Cadia. Cadia was so fucking fortified. And those small raids would easily be destroyed by supreme levels of manpower and firepower on those raids, which would kill the troops and wouldn't affect the chain of command. This is why the spirit tip wouldn't work. But more importantly, Cadia itself was just bunker on top of bunker on top of bunker on top of bunker, so there wasn't anything tactically advantageous to conquer certain objectives and to actually attack certain points. The biggest reason, though, why I think Abaddon, the armless, or Failbadon, the worthless, the useless, the absolute shittiest fucking chaos champion I've ever seen, is that he's a little bit too much into hatred. He's a little bit too much of a Khorne follower. So with Horus, when he does his spear tip tactics on a massive galactic scale. Yeah, a few raids are going to fail. That's okay. Because Horus is collected, he's calm, he's cool, he can plan this around. He goes, okay, yeah, I lost 1,000 Space Marines doing that raid on that planet, but that means that there's less troops on this planet. Let's go raid that with 1,100 Marines. Oh, cool. Now we got some success, and now we see where these troops are coming from. That's the kind of guy Horus was. Abaddon is not like that. He's not the tactical genius who has this supreme calmness around him like Horus was. So when Abaddon fails or hears upon failure, he wants to destroy whatever it is directly in sight or within arm's reach. Well, that doesn't work. So essentially what happens is he comes in trying to look like a spear tip, but ends up becoming a sledgehammer. So that's nice. If only it fucking worked, fucking dumbass. But that's why he failed 13 fucking Black Crusades, more or less, is that anytime something went wrong in his plan, he would just get super fucking mad, super pissed, and would just decide to just devote all of his forces onto something really fucking stupid. That, yeah, he won the battle, but he lost the whole war. And that's essentially why I still like the old lore where Abaddon was, stuck behind the gates, Acadia. But somehow in the new lore, he destroys all that and somehow fucking now has full reign on the Imperium. Don't know how that fucking happened considering he's a hothead. But that's the whole Black Legion tactics. Again, the ideal situation is you just want to raid, and then reveal your true card, which is all these elite Terminators busting down your door, destroying the fortress, destroying the HQ. Now all the frontline troops are leaderless, and they have no idea what just fucking happened. And you're just going to sweep them aside because they're just out of touch with everyone else. That is the battle tactics of the Black Legion. I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next time. Comment down below what you guys think about this. Comment down below also what you guys want to see next. Besides that, this has been Frieza700. I'm out. See you guys next time.